think we're live.
Okay.
It's running. It's running. We're gonna let some folks get in. This is a live stream, or the intention is that it's a live stream, and we're going to cover a few things on this live stream today, and try to keep it time boxed because there's a lot to go on. So we're gonna do a live stream on YouTube and Twitch, simulcast it today. Doing this with the 3090. We finally have Simple Mining set up with about 8 to 10 coins. It's been quite the journey to get there because none of the configuration on some of these coins, these are the coins that I don't necessarily always mine. And anyway, I mine about 4 main coins. I mine Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, Ubik sometimes. So those are the main configurations I usually rest and worry about to make sure that are configured correctly. Part of our testing is we're going to be covering a handful of other tokens. Firo, I think we got Beam on there. We got Conflux, or not, I say Conflux. Conflux is actually a tool that I use. The Conflux, the actual token, so I think they call it Flux, is as short, not to be confused with another coin that's Flux that used to be Zelcoin. Gets pretty confusing. This is part of the reason why we're doing this video for you guys, is to show you the different types of coins that are out there and how to configure them in the Simple Mining OS, because it's quite the task, and a lot of the configurations that we're going to show you guys today are not necessarily correct on like the different pool sites that have like the help and the for you help type of stuff. And then you find yourself kind of jumping all over the internet looking for this. And Ray got to watch me do this for a little bit earlier. So let's get into this. We got the Simple Mining up. We got the RTX 3090. This is the Asus ROG Strix edition. We're going to show you guys the mining model spreadsheet. It's already set up, ready to go. And we're going to show not only some of the settings, but we're going to get into a couple of the tests to kind of show you guys what the Twitch streams are going to look like on the longer, like 2-hour plus test of all the different iteration testing that we're going to do with these GPUs. So hopefully you guys are ready. I did not have a video this weekend. Had a good weekend. You did some catfishing.
Yep.
I did a lot of hanging out in the pool, making food for folks, and having just enjoying the Labor Day weekend out here and not doing anything with crypto. Anybody that's watching this video is also probably wondering what the heck happened to crypto today. Crypto took a pretty nice little swing down. I look at those buying opportunities personally, not financial advice. However, if it's good enough for you to purchase when it's $50,000, it should be super good enough to purchase when it's like $46,000 Bitcoin price. The same thing with like Ravencoin or any of these others. If you're looking at these tokens, look at red days like days of sells off. Like you're walking into a store and you're like, hey, that's 30% off today. It's all a mental thing. It all comes back down to, do you believe in the token? Are you following the token? Did you wish that you were able to get in a little cheaper? Days like today are those days that I look forward to, when there's pullbacks for people to get a little cheaper pricing on the token. So I don't freak out on it. The fundamentals are strong. Nothing's changed in those fundamentals. So for the panic people, like, it's all good, bros. Like there was nothing. I think that ran that information. Like I was looking on Twitter and stuff saying, okay, did somebody say they were banning it again? Right. And there was nothing on Twitter. There was just some of the El Salvador stuff. So I didn't mean to really segue with this, but I know I'm trying to preempt anybody that hits this video, gets into the first 3 or 4 minutes and goes, oh, they're just talking about tech stuff. I wanted to know what happened today in the market. And I wanted to make sure that there was something out there for that. So we are going to get into some of the testing with this real quick and show you guys some of the setup. We're going to transition over to the laptop here, and we're going to show you guys some of the issues and stuff that you're going to deal with whenever you're setting up these GPUs for something like Simple Mining. We'll also do a full walkthrough on Hive OS. We still have that tutorial to do. I'm looking at getting that tutorial this week, but I wanted to get through at least two of the GPUs. This 3090 has been sitting on this desk for like a week. So I want to get through that, and I want to get that deployed to where it's not just sitting on this desk as a test bench thing. So we're going to get that going and tested today and get the results out for you guys on what we can find the best settings for this card, in addition to see if it starts to overheat and we need to tear it down like we did the other 480, or no, it was the 470s cards. So let's switch over to the actual laptop screen real quick and get into this. Now you guys can all ask questions as we're doing this, and if you guys can't see stuff, we'll try to make the screen bigger and all that kind of stuff, but I'm keeping it at a pretty high resolution so we can get more on the screen for you guys can see stuff. So this is the Simple Mining OS. This is the dashboard that comes up once you have a machine set up with Simple Mining. There's several videos I have out there showing and explaining on how to set up Simple Mining. Actually, our noob series has us walking that with people through. So this is a dashboard once you're set up and configured. And this top entry at the very top up here is this test bench. So this is a single GPU card that we have set up on this machine. And so there's only one GPU there. We can see right now, I think we have it set for what, Ravencoin mining right now? No. What do we have it set to? Oh, we got it set for the Beam right now. Yeah. So let's first go into the group config, and I'm going to show you guys all of the different configurations that we have set up in here. Like if you are wanting to kind of model this at home and have like your own test bench, and you're wanting to configure, you know, we got in here, let's run through it. We have Ravencoin, we have Beam, ETC, we have ETC, we have Conflux, we have Firo, we have Flux itself, which is different, Ethereum, BTC, which is Vertcoin, Ergo, and I think that's it. That's all we got set up right now. I'm soliciting folks to ask me if they want something else to be seen there. I was going to put something like Feathercoin on there, but it looks like Feathercoin's network has like something ridiculous. Like 99% of its network is like unknown, and it looks like it's from a single address, which usually means that somebody's just, they either have a bit stream or something set up for NeoScript, which is its algorithm, and they're taking all the hash rate. But let's go to mining pool stats. Here we go. And like click on search coins up there, and I'll explain what I'm talking through here. So just type Ergo, or no, sorry, type Feathercoin. I'll give people an example of this, of like what tokens to kind of, and then click that one. So now if you look at when this comes up, you'll see at the very top right, kind of under blocks, that in the last 100 blocks, 99 of them were unknown. That means that somebody out there has a ton of hash power, and the network hash, look at the hash rate versus the network hash rate. So the network hash rate of something like this is Feathercoin, has 2.62 gigahash. So that's billions of hash per second total network. But there's only 119 million hashes known. So that's the mining pools. So this would be an example that I could show you how to set this up. However, we've got a situation where somebody probably has some kind of competitive advantage on the algorithm here. And if you look under Feathercoin here, it has the algorithm type of NeoScript. So that's an example there. So like if you're setting up one of these tokens and you click on any of these mining pool stats and you look up a particular token to see, well, maybe I want to try to stack a whole bunch of these particular coins, you can, you know, look at what type of algorithm it has and see what your kind of configuration would be. So NeoScript is something like Feathercoin. So if we go back to like Ergo, we'll just use Ergo as an example to give you guys kind of an idea of like, here we go. Might have to actually, yeah, there you go. It just takes a second. So now in this same thing, you guys can go up there and see the total network hash rate right now. And that's a little off because there's some kind of delay there. So it's showing that there's 31 total terahash on Ergo with it, but it's only reporting 28 of that, which usually that's not the way it goes. That's what happens when you have some kind of delay to where more people are putting out to the pool itself. So there's a whole bunch that's just shot to the pool, and the network hash rate hasn't caught up to show, because it should always be the network hash rate is the highest. But if you have a whole bunch of profit switching type of pools that will switch a whole bunch of hash rate over to a network, it'll have like this lag and delay. But you can see majority of that's reported, almost all of it. There is no, was there one unknown block? One. So 1% So that's 1 out of 100 was from an unknown address. Almost all of that's a very pool heavy type of algorithm. So those are kind of key pieces when we start talking through some of these different coins here in a second and showing you guys performance numbers and stuff, how to kind of navigate and understand, is this a mining network that allows you to participate and get, at least some of the reward where you don't have one person just kind of owning the whole network type of thing. So let's go back to the group config and then take a look at this real quick. And let's zoom in. Let's just go like this to expand. It should be able to, that's a little big. Squeeze, pinch, there we go. So we just blew that up. So you guys could take a screenshot of this and you could see the way which miner is being used. So if we use, like, let's just look at the third one down, which is ETC AMD LOL miner. So you can see the syntax, which is the reference information on how to get your miner pointed to mine against that particular pool. And you can see the key pieces of information. Let's just hit the gear on that one there and like look into this. So right there at those miner options, you can see that this one is for ETC, and you can see that it's going to a particular pool. So that's pooled is space ETC underscore 2 miners. Now you're probably thinking like, how the heck do I know how to get this? And this is right. Part of the problem with all of these is that where we would normally go is we would look up on here, we would go to 2 miners, ETC. So just type 2 miners and then do a space ETC. You don't even need the .com and hit enter on that. And then you'll go to that top one to the ETC pool. You would get to the pool and you go to quick start and you would look at their reference information. And the things that matter is your mining pool server. And then you would scroll down a little further and you would see some of these example setup scripts. Here's a problem. So the problem is not all these are always accurate. And sometimes the miner, if it's NB miner, if it's LOL miner, if it's T-Rex, is none of them follow the same exact standard. And sometimes they switch the little trigger entries to different things. So in this case, we had this with NB miner today when we were setting up Beam, and all the configuration and settings out there were incorrect. They were saying it was Beam hash when it was really Beam v3 was the algorithm type. So we actually had to go out to the different miners original like location. So if we just highlight NB miner for as an example there, just highlight that one, the NB miner part of it, and then right click on it and then go to search for Google right there. There you go. So you can go here and then you'll usually the top result is going to be the GitHub address for the particular miner. There's ways to go out to bitcointalk.org and look up the announcement post for this to find out the good location for the download. But we know that this one's a good one. It actually has the green check mark from Google. So this is the official software release for NB miner. And if we scroll down here, most of these miners will show you the correct, most up-to-date script for their particular algorithm type. So in this case, NB miner, I think, is set the standard on giving us the reference architecture from like what the layout is by each type of algorithm. So this is like AE for Eternity, Beam, Conflux, Ergo. If you're using this miner for those things, this is where it matters. And the reason why I'm hitting on this is purely for setting this up for these tests. For some of these algorithms I don't typically mine, it took me several hours to get this right and to test it and to make sure that everything was configured correctly because of the scripting was incorrect on some of the reference stuff. I had to jump around from the pool example over to the GitHub example. And that's why if we go back to the group config, I want to make sure you guys have a picture. You can hit close on that of the script here because all of these ones are good. Well, at least all the NVIDIA ones. I should clarify that. We did test all the NVIDIA ones. We have not tested all the AMD ones yet because this was the NVIDIA card that we're going to be testing today. So we made sure that we put our particular wallet address in there, and then there's different wallet addresses that we'll make sure are how you guys can set up wallets, because there's also, that was the other part of this. And let me switch back over to I want to make sure I emphasize this particular point. Go to main. Yeah, I'll let you do that. So part of this other thing is like to set up a wallet. So a lot of people also have like, hey, I want to set up this coin, but how do I get a wallet? And that's actually a lot harder than just down. Like Exodus only has a couple of these coins. Beam had its own wallet that is actually on, I just put on a cell phone. Grin's the same way. Grin was for Iron Belly, is an app on the phone. So what we're going to be doing as part of this video series when we're testing all those GPUs is I'm going to add in a column. And actually, let's do that right now so we can just get it done. We're going to put a column in here. Add, insert to the left here, and just put wallet. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys the source of where we went to use, what wallets we were using. The one that we chose based on our research, for the range of reasons. One, where I can, it has at least some community engagement with it. It's a known source, that sort of thing. Is it on iOS? Is it on, Android? Is it a local wallet on your computer and you need to have a full node set up with it? That sort of thing. Because some of these smaller coins that don't have a huge amount of volume also don't have a huge amount of development on their wallet side. So, and then there's some that are multi-wallets that have, a range of different tokens. So I think a really cool graph would be something like this spreadsheet with all the wallets that are out there and then what coins they support. Usually that's only done at a wallet level. Like you would go to the wallet and you would look like they would do, but you wouldn't have like, what are all the wallets and what coins do they support?
Right.
One-stop shop would be pretty sweet. Now, obviously there's all these different wallets are adding different coins all the time. It'd be kind of a pain in the butt to keep, but trying to keep some source of record for everybody knows what that would be. The best way we could do it to maintain it is at least what did we set up, and then you guys at least would have that. So
yeah,
because that's going to be the next question that everybody has is like, cool, man, I know how to config this. I want to try my rig out on it. I want to try my settings out on it, but shit, like how do I go get a wallet? So that's another thing from a wallet standpoint. So then that's that piece. Back over to that screen here. I just wanted to make sure the wallets piece was in there. So yeah, this is the spreadsheet that we're putting all of our information into. We got that first entry, and let's go ahead and walk through the first to give everybody kind of a feel and style. We're 18 minutes in. I wanted to do this as a half hour kind of setup stream to incentivize people to come over to the Twitch live stream when we do the much larger testing, because it's not just testing out one setting across all these algorithms, it's testing multiple settings across all the algorithms. So it's a very matrix kind of ability. So we're going to start with Ethereum, and we're going to take some settings, stock settings with this card, and then we'll do a couple just optimized settings and capture those and show you guys kind of how that process goes. So we're going to go over to the rigged list here. And let's go ahead and just, you hit the check there, and then you're going to hit actions right there. And we're going to go to group config. And we're going to hit the drop down. Down a little further. NVIDIA. ETH NVIDIA. Yep. That one's using NB Miner, and we're going to hit save and go. So what that's going to do, and then you can hit the green right there. So let us see it kind of do its thing. And then this is going to go out there and it's going to make a change, and it's going to get us back to doing some testing. So this actually, go to group OC settings. Let's look. This might be running an OC setting. Actually, go back to rig list. Show setting. Here we go. Yeah, it's using 14. So just put clear 1400. Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave it at 1400. It's 315 on that. It's applying the settings right now, so we at least can see that and see what this thing's running. We'll just put on there that, this wasn't the stock test. We'll do a separate stock test on the thing. So right now this thing's getting the 515.9 mega hash. We'll just let it go for a second. Again, this is NB miner, and we'll test some of these with different, the different miners also. But again, for a much longer test, we'll have to set up other miners. So we'll set up Phoenix miner, T-Rex, and NB miner as an example. So you can see this thing's getting 114 right now. Is that 114? Yeah. And so we would capture right now on the spreadsheet that's doing 114 mega hash. So let's go to the spreadsheet real quick. And this is not going to be stock. We're going to put core at 0. No, right above it. You're going to overwrite that one. Yeah. No, overwrite that one. Yeah. We'll resort stock ones and all that. It doesn't matter. And then memory is plus 1400. And power setting right now is at 315 W. That's 315 watts. And then it was 114 point something. 114.2 or 116. And then we're going to take a power reading real quick. So we'll go to the main right now and see what the power settings are. Power looks like it's 370. We're going to have to get a zoom in on that, or we don't have to do that. 371. Now that's full system. So when this system's running, it's running about 60 some odd watts, 55 watts, something like that. So to do 370, yeah, that's fine. We do that because we'll put in the qualifier there that for what the system was, and then let's switch over to the riser and the power close up here. And it's not working. Make sure.
Yeah, so there's just some technical difficulties here. No big deal, Yeah, just normal. It's usually you guys don't see it though, so it's awesome.
Let's see if that works. Might be switching. No, it's just shutting off. So, plan B, first one, just little. Here, let's do this way. So now we're gonna go back here. Now we're gonna duplicate this and just put that for right there for right now. And then I'm gonna take one. Unlock it. Take this all the way up. And we're going to blow, what we're going to do is blow this up so where you guys can see this for right now. And then we'll fix it for the actual other live stream where you guys can see. This is the cool advantage of having a really high def camera, is that even with me pulling these, this is like in a movie, enhance, 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 a little further, enhancing. Let's get it way up there. There we go. And that's how we do it, my dudes. All right. So you can see
It's on the riser right now.
it's on the riser right now. And it's at 60, let's call it 64 watts right now with the settings that are there. So that this riser is pulling 64 watts. And the 12-volt rel is pulling 214. Let's just call it 214. 214 watts.
Okay.
Itself right now. So on the fly fixing is what we do. All right. So that right there would be the entry for Ethereum at those settings. And then what we could do is we could play and scale with that from there. So a normal iterative test of that would be is I like testing everything with those settings and kind of seeing, okay, we didn't touch the core, we brought up the memory. Would that make sense for some of these other tokens or not? Any tokens that's heavy on the memory requirement, that's a bigger deal. So we could test Ravencoin and all those type of settings with it, but for this particular test, let's just do one of the other tests real quick. Switch back over to simple mining. So we'll give them a kind of a teaser of what we'd be doing from that other testing. So actions. Let's go to try Ergo. People like seeing Ergo running, and then let's go ahead and run that. Got our face in that corner to where they can't see us selecting. So yeah, we'll stay on this screen for a second and we'll see the transition and setting over to Ergo. So you can see it in the running now. So now it's going over and now it's going to be running that. And I also have it to where you guys can just see it on the screen too, I believe. Here, let's do that. So here it is running that. Versus not having to see it on that little screen there. This is a much cleaner screen. If you guys like this one, we'll just use this one when we're showing it running. So right now it's applying the memory settings, and then we'll get an Ergo performance right now, which should be over on that screen over there. But what I'm giving you guys is a preview of what like the live streams on Twitch will be, because it's going to be a longer live stream. Like we'll try to keep it interesting and fun. But a lot of it is observe and report testing, and it's literally trying to find the best settings for these particular cards that typically transition over to the same series of card. So if we're talking the 3090, it should transfer by and large over to other 3090s. You just might have some peaks and valleys with some cards better than others, and then you'll have temperature issues. That's the one thing we haven't really been capturing because we're just capturing the temperature requirement off the card right now. We may add a column in here and then start just taking readings from the outside of the card, with like the thermal adapter. There's also a temperature probe I had ordered where I could actually insert kind of that temperature probe like down into the fins of the card to see if we're getting an accurate reading from the piece there. So I wanted to try to get a very robust capture of what's going on the cards, from not just from relying on the software side of it. So right now we're getting about 255 on Ergo on this card. I think 265 is the kind of standard on the 3090s, but it looks like 255.7 Ergo. And then we can take a quick capture of the actual power there. 3
something.
50. It's bouncing between 370 and 350 something. It looks like 377 is the higher peak of it. Yeah, so let's just put that 375, which is really close to what Ethereum was pushing. And again, we got it set to 315 as the power limit on the card. And we didn't add the rel stuff, did we, on that? Okay, we'll have to do that.
Yep.
Because that'll matter too. Well, we'll retest it, obviously, but the power close up here, we didn't have it to where we're capturing a particular thing there. Oh, what happened to my power close? Oh, it was power close up 2. Duh. Here we go. Forgot I changed it live. So yeah, it looks like about the same settings as Ethereum, power wise. Yeah, so 64. It's pretty much dead on.
Yeah.
All right. We're at 31 minutes. I think we're gonna start to wrap this one up real quick, my dudes. You guys, I think, get the point. You guys have screenshots of our settings and our configurations. If you're going to try to follow it along at home type of thing, and you want to be able to put your own wallets in there, make your own configurations, and then we'll walk this stuff through for you guys. So hopefully this was a good one for you guys. I wanted to kind of give you some insight to what's going on behind the scenes with a lot of the setup and config. You guys haven't seen us in a few days. This is what's been going on to try to get everything set up for you guys to be able to walk through what some of these settings are. And this is a really observe report. I'm not trying to over glorify any particular coin. It literally is, this is a piece of hardware. What's it do on a particular algorithm with a particular set of settings? And what are the measurements on the upper bound, meaning the 12 volt rels that are plugged into the GPU? What is the riser power, and what's the total consumption to a machine? That gives you the information to be able to decide if you want to build a mining rig or not, and what kind of components and parts you would need to do that across a range of different algorithms. So, all right, my dudes, hopefully it's been good. I'm going to bore him to death with a lot of spreadsheet stuff, but it's kind of Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off, dude. You'll be doing like all kinds of troubleshooting real quick here with this stuff. So, do we get any questions? Do we see any questions on either Twitch or thing that we need to do? I did see somebody made a comment saying they love the series. BBT watched some of the videos, and the ones that they have watched have been very good. The 1660 Super at 550, very good. So in retail world, no, it's a horrible deal. It should be like $220, but I think in the realities of 2021 going into 2022, post-COVID, kind of mid-COVID, mid-Delta branch, whatever version we're on right now, world where supply chains and people staying at home and buying on the hardware side, crypto's at near all-time highs. World, it was a lot. It was like all that with no spaces, no commas, blah. Together, I think it's reality. I think 550 I seen them. I was just at Micro Center recently this weekend. Actually, I had helped a friend pick up a new machine. The best deal we were able to get was buying a fully serviced brand new machine that had everything together. About a 5800 Ryzen machine, had a 3080 in it. 16 gigs of RAM, 3 terabytes of NVMe space. So it had a 1 terabyte Pro drive and then a 2 terabyte secondary drive. Again, 16 gigs of RAM, 1,000 watt power supply, gold, Lian Li case, and the thing was $26.99. And when you do the math on that, like I looked at it like 3 times, I was like, wait a minute here, 5800X, 16 gigs RAM, decent motherboard. The motherboard is about $300. It was an Asus TUF TUF motherboard, 570 Pro. So those are going about $330 a piece right now. The 5800X goes for about $429. Memory is about 100 and some change. The NVMe's alone are $350 between the 1 terabyte and the 2 terabyte. And then the 3080, when you look at the price on that, like $26.99 out the door. and it was water cooled. It had a nice larger water cooler on it. I was like, you know, people are selling that 3080 for close to $1,800 to $2,000 almost. And so you're telling me you're going to get the rest of this machine for like $699? Like, that's steal. So that was the way to buy a thing. If you're looking to upgrade or not upgrade and get a high-end GPU, they effectively had brought the cost down to that 3080. And that was a For the Win 3 edition 3080 was going for around $950. So that was the best deal I've seen. So I'm trying to give you that example in perspective of a 1660 versus like a 3080 being light years ahead, and the 3080 only being like $400 to $500 more. It was a much better deal. So in that context, you might be able to find a full system with a 1660 in it for like $900. So like, sell the full system for $1,000 and keep the 1660 for free. So like, just look out there, look at the deals, break them down, see if you can find a better deal out there. You might be able to snag a deal where you can sell the whole PC without the graphics card and make that GPU cost down to like $250. So just be conscious of it. Should be good. All right, my dudes. Hope things will be good. We'll hope to see you guys on the Twitch live streams. Follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Twitter's, you're going to see the links out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.